Hello, it's me. We're going to read a book called Duck and Goose today. The author and illustrator are both Tad Hills. If you remember, he wrote the book Rocket Learns to Read. So this is also a very, very, very cute book, one of my favorites, and I want to share it with you. But as I'm reading, I want to remember the 5-finger retell. So I want to remember the characters. I want to know the setting. I want to know the problem, the solution, and the beginning, middle, and end. And the heart is if you make any connections to the story. Remember, a connection could be text to self, text to world, or text to text. Maybe it makes you think of another book. Okay, so we're going to read Duck and Goose. Oh my, what is that? Duck quacked. That's a silly question, Goose honked. It is a big egg, of course. Of course it is an egg. I know that, huffed Duck. What I mean is, where did it come from? Goose looked skyward. He looked to the river. He looked to the fields. He thought very hard. Who are you? He asked finally. I, said Duck, puffing out his feathered chest, and the one whose egg this is. I saw it first. Goose quickly raised one webbed foot. It's mine. I touched it first. Hey, you should never put your dirty foot on an egg, Duck scolded. Don't you know anything about caring for eggs? Yes, I do, Goose cried out. Stop yelling, Duck yelled, then whispered forcefully. Don't you know that you and your screaming are very likely disturbing the baby bird who's trying to take a snooze inside the egg? Goose wished that Duck wasn't right. He lowered his head and whispered softly, I'm very sorry. Go back to sleep in there. All right, I'm just going to pause for a minute. So far, let's think of our 5-finger retell. And who are the characters so far? We have Duck and we have Goose, and they don't have names. They're called Duck and Goose. So when we retell the story, we call them Duck and Goose. Okay, and right now, where is the setting taking place? It looks like they even told us on this page it was in a field. Now remember, the setting can change, so we're going to keep noticing to make sure if the setting is changing. All right, and there's a problem. The problem is Duck said, this egg is mine. And Goose said, no, it's mine. I touched it first. Now, since we have the problem, we have some characters, we have the setting. What happened in the beginning so far? The beginning, I want to use it in my own words, retell it in my own words. Duck and Goose, they found an egg, and they both said it was theirs. So now we're going to keep reading and listen for the details in the middle of the book. And it looks like we have a brand new character. My, that's quite a beauty you have, called a bluebird from across the river. Thank you. It's mine, quacked Duck. Actually, it's mine, honked Goose. Thank you. So we have a new character. And the character's name is just Bluebird. So, asked Duck, what do we do now? We should do something, suggested Goose. Yes, you are right. Good thinking, agreed Duck. Like what? Duck and Goose each thought. And right here, there's a whole bunch of little signs. I'll read them to you. This egg is private property. Duck's egg. No geese allowed. No honking. $5 fine. If you are a duck, keep walking. No ducks beyond this point. Quiet, please. Absolutely no quacking in this area. Now, did they really do that? No. Look, remember this? It's a thought bubble. So that's what Duck is thinking. Here's Goose's thought bubble. Well, we must keep the egg warm until the fuzzy little occupant is ready to come out, said Goose. Excellent idea, exclaimed Duck. He pushed past Goose. Step aside and I shall do just that. But Goose was quick too. After a flurry of fussing, grunting and groaning, slipping and sliding, honking and quacking. Well, let's go back to that page. So you can see the pictures. Duck and Goose found themselves back to back. Scoot over. I don't have any room, complained Duck. You are much closer to me than I am to you. Stop yelling in my ear, Goose. Shh, Goose hushed, pointing at the round thing beneath them. Yes, 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 we must remember. Quiet, quiet, quiet. We mustn't disturb the little one. And so they sat very still and very quiet, waiting for a long time. They waited. They listened to the crickets chirp and the frogs burp. I'm going to teach this baby bird to quack like a duck, Duck boasted. Well, I'm going to teach it to honk like a goose. Goose honked back. I'm going to teach this baby bird to waddle, Goose added. So am I, Duck said. They heard the pitter-patter of the rain. I'm going to teach this baby bird to swim, Duck said. Me too, Goose said. To pass the time, they sniffed wildflowers in the warm sun and shared breadcrumbs, while Goose taught Duck to honk. They watched the sunset in the sky, and Duck taught Goose to quack. So something magical is happening here. What do you see is happening? I think they're becoming friends. They counted the stars in the night sky. Let's teach our baby to fly, said Goose. Good idea, said Duck. I'm sure our baby will be a fast learner, said Duck. If it takes after you and me, I'm sure you're right, agreed Goose. How sweet. So now they're calling it our baby. Together they waited until... Did you feel that, Duck? Duck nodded. Yes! Did you feel that, Goose? Goose nodded. It's time, Goose. It's time! Duck squawked. All right, I'm going to pause here for a minute and think about everything I just read. A lot happened. But I want to try and think of in my own words what happened in the middle of the story. And something magical did happen. At first, Duck and Goose, they squabbled and they couldn't agree. But something magical happened. And they decided to take care of the egg together. And they became friends. Now we're coming to the end. Quickly, Duck slid down and started running in circles around their egg. What should we do now? He hollered. I think we should remain calm, Goose yelled back. Excuse me, a little voice called out. Oh, looks like someone's hiding back there. Duck stopped. In all the exciting confusion, he had failed to notice the blue bird kicking their egg. "Can I play too?" she asked. "Play? This is no time for a play," yelled Duck. "This is no time for games," yelled Goose. "And what's with the kicking? I was only trying to get your attention," said the little bird. "Well, you got it," Duck huffed. "False alarm, Goose. Back to work. Can't you see that we are very busy here?" Goose explained to the bluebird, "This is serious business. This is perhaps the most important moment of our lives." Oh my, I am sorry," apologized the bluebird. "I had no idea. I just thought that maybe I could play with your ball. It really is a nice one," she added. And then she flew away. Goose gulped. "Did she say ball?" he whispered to Duck. Ruh-roh. "You know, I did have my doubts," Duck finally said. "It is a bit squishier than most eggs I've seen. And yes, I must say I was somewhat suspicious of those big dots," Goose admitted. "It may not be an egg, but it is lovely," said Duck. "Oh, absolutely," Duck Goose agreed. "It is a keeper." So, the egg is really a ball. As the crickets chirped, the frogs burped, and the grass swayed in a gentle breeze, Goose quacked and Duck honked, and the ball bounced, rolled, and sometimes even flew. And that, my friends, is the end. So how did the story end? And what was the solution to the problem? Remember the problem, let's look over here. I have a chart that I made for you. I'm going to turn my chair so you can see it. Let me make sure you can see it. Yes, and I have to make a correction. Okay. I need to cross this out right here because this is not what happened right here. She flew away. All right, so let's just go over the whole thing. So Duck and Goose is the name of the book by Tad Hills. The characters are Duck, Goose, and Bluebird. The setting was in a field which stayed the same the entire time. What was the problem? Duck and Goose both said the egg was theirs. The solution was the egg was a ball. Duck and, let me fix this. Duck, I'll do a little carrot, Duck, and Goose played ball. Remember the beginning of the story. Duck and Goose found an egg. They each said it was theirs. The middle was Duck and Goose decided to take care of the egg together and began to become friends. And the end, little Bluebird came and asked to play too. The egg was really a ball. I just summarized the story. That means I used my own words to tell the beginning, middle, and end. And as you're reading, boys and girls, I want you to think of Five Finger Retail. And I am going to make a connection. I'm going to make a connection to all the eggs that we've been seeing. Remember the egg in the nest outside my front door? I have some sad news with that one. Sometimes, boys and girls, eggs don't hatch. We don't know why. Nature, sometimes they know there was one little egg, but for some reason the egg did not hatch. But hopefully you got to see Troy's baby birds growing in his yard. And so I'm making a connection to this book by all the bird eggs that we have been seeing the past couple weeks while we've been learning online. And I hope you enjoyed that story, and I will see you soon. You guys have a good weekend. Bye-bye.